Welcome, third year English section, Auditing and Assurance Service, part Dr. Bهاء, Chapter 7, Audit Evidence. In this section, we will discuss the following objective. Difference between audit evidence with other evidence. Identify for audit evidence characteristics that determine the procedure of evidence, also the type of audit evidence. First, we contrast audit evidence with other evidence. Evidence means any information used by the auditor to determine whether information being audited is stated in accordance with established criteria. The use of evidence is not unique to auditor but also by scientists, lawyers, and historians. Evidence includes information that is value of assurance. In the audit, it is high level of assurance. This table shows the difference between audit evidence and other evidence. Second, we identify the four audit evidence. There are four audit evidence. They are as follows. Number one, audit procedure, which is the detailed instruction that explains the audit evidence to obtained during the audit. For example, verification of cash disbursement to the auditor examines the cash disbursement journal. Number two, sample size. Once an audit procedure is selected, auditor can vary the sample size from one to all items in the population. In the previous example, in an audit procedure to verify cash disbursement, suppose 6,600 G and electronic transfer are recorded in cash disbursement journal. So the auditor might select the sample size of cash disbursement comparison with the cash disbursement journal. Number 3 of type of audit evidence is item 2 select. After we determine sample size and audit procedure, the auditor should select which item population to test. For example, the auditor selects a week and examine the first 50 check. Also, the auditor may select 50 check with a large amount. He may select the check randomly or select these checks that the auditor thinks they are most likely to be in error. Number 4, timing. Timing decision affected by when the client need to the audit be completed. Third, we specify the characteristics that determine the procedure of evidence. There are two determinants of procedure of evidence. They are as follows: appropriateness and sufficiency. Reliability depends on the following 6 characteristics. Number 1, independent of provider. Evidence obtained from a source outside the entity is more reliable than obtained from within. Number 2, effectiveness of client internal control. When a client internal control are effective, so the evidence is more reliable. Number 3, auditor direct knowledge. Evidence obtained directly by the auditor is more reliable than information obtained from indirectly. Number 4, qualification of individual providing information. Also, degree of objectivity. Objective evidence is more reliable than evidence that requires considerable judgment. Number 6, timelines. Evidence is more reliable for balance sheet account when it is obtained as close to the balance sheet date as possible. Sufficiency refers to the quantity of evidence as measured by sample size. This table shows the relationship among evidence, decision, and procedure. Two types of appropriateness, relevance and reliability measured by audit procedure and time. Sufficiency measured by sample size. Fourth, we identify the type of audit evidence. There are 8 types of audit evidence like observation, performance, recalculation, client inquiry, confirmation, inspection, and analytical procedure. Number 1. Physical examination means inspection or count by the auditor of tangible assets like cash and inventory. Also security like notes receivable. Number 2. Confirmation. Confirmation means receipt of a direct written response from a third party verifying the accuracy of information. Confirmation is highly reliable because come from third party, but it is so relatively costly. Number 3. Inspection. Inspection means auditor examination of the client document and the record. As we know, the internal and external document like check. The auditor used document to test from source document to record amount means completeness called tracing. And the auditor also used document to support record transaction means occurrence is called vouching. This table shows example of information that the auditor needs and its source, like when the auditor needs to know information about cash in bank as an asset, choose the source information is a bank and so on. Number 4. Analytical procedures. Analytical procedure mean evaluation of financial statements through comparison and analysis of relationship, also required during the planning and the completion phase of all audit. The purpose of analytical procedure: Number 1. Understand client industry and the business, assess the entity ability to continue as a going concern, indicate the presence of possible misstatement in the financial statement, and reduce detailed audit tests. Number 5. Inquiry of client means written or oral information from the client in response to question from the auditor. Number 6. Recalculation means rechecking sample of recalculation made by the client. Number 7. Re-performance is the auditor independent test of client account procedure or controls that were originally done as a part of the entity account and internal control system. For example, the auditor may compare price on an invoice to an approved price list. Number 8. Observation means looking at process or procedure being performed by others, and this type of evidence is not highly reliable. This table shows the appropriation of type evidence. There are criteria to determine appropriation as the following. The effectiveness of client internal control has significant influence on the reliability of most type of audit evidence, especially internal documentation and analytical procedure. Also, physical examination and recalculation involve the auditor's direct knowledge and are likely to a high reliable. Also, inquiry alone is usually not sufficient to provide appropriate evidence to satisfy an audit objective. In making decisions about evidence for a given audit, both pursuit and the cost must be considered. The auditor goal is to obtain a sufficient amount of appropriate evidence at lowest total cost. The cost of type of evidence, physical examination and confirmation are most expensive. Inspection, analytical procedure, and re-performance is moderate cost, and the least expense is observation, inquiry, and recalculation. There are several terms used to describe audit procedure and associated with type of evidence. Number one of terms is examine. Examine means reasonable detailed study of a document or record to determine specific facts about it. So the suitable type of evidence it would be inspection. Number 2, scan. A less detailed examination of a document or record to determine whether there is something unusual warranting further investigation. So this suitable type of evidence it will be an ethical procedure. Number 3 of terms, read. Read means an examination of written information to determine facts pertinent to the audit. So the suitable type of evidence is an inspection. Number 4 of terms, compute. Compute means calculation done by the auditor, shows analytical procedure is suitable type of evidence. Number 5, recompute. Recompute means a calculation done to determine whether client's calculation is correct. So the suitable type of evidence is recalculation. Number 6 is food. Additionals of a column of number to determine whether the total is the same as the client. So the suitable type of evidence is recalculation. Number 7, trace. The term trace is an instruction associated with inspection or performance. So these are the suitable type of evidence for trace. Number 8, compare. Compare means a comparison of information. So the suitable type of evidence it will be inspection. Number 9 is term of count. Count means determination of asset on a hand at a given time. So the physical examination is suitable evidence. Number 10, observe. The term observation is the act. So the observation evidence is suitable evidence. Number 11, inquire. Inquire also it is the act. So the inquiry of client is suitable evidence. Number 12, vouch. Vouch, the term use of documents for occurrence, so the suitable evidence is inspection. And with that, we finish this part.